Hey friends, Ken here, your Thrifty Apprentice, and in today's video, we're going to be comparing this $65 set to this $25 watercolor set to see just how different they actually are. So today, friends, we are looking at the Viburnum Art 24 half pan professional artist quality watercolors and comparing them to the Himi 24 half pan professional watercolors. And I have a sneaky suspicion that one of these companies makes the watercolor set for the other because they are so eerily similar. We are going to go through looking at all of those things today and come up with an ultimate conclusion together as to what we may possibly think. So let's start off with inspecting the packaging. Here you have two sort of different aesthetics with the packaging. With the Viburnum, you have a more sleek, streamlined, sort of professional push and appeal. And with the Himi, you have a more simple, straightforward, with a little bit of decoration feel to it. So, you know, just from visual appearance, you may think that one targets more of a student market and one targets more of a professional artist market. But is that truly the case? Let's push forward and see. We're looking at the information presented. Now, on the side of one of the boxes here, the Viburnum is giving you a table so that you will know the light fast information, the staining information as well as the transparency information. And there does not seem to be a chart of that type presented with the Himi. Now, the Viburnum says made in China, conforms to ASTM D4236. And again, here we have made in China and does conform to the D4236 regulation. So same there. Here we have a digital printed color swatch. And again, we have a digital printed color swatch. The information on those swatches, on one, the Viburnum is giving you the color name and the pigment numbers, versus the Himi, which is giving you the color names, the light fast information, and the transparency information. But no pigment numbers actually on the box on one, and no light fast information on the box on the other. So let's move forward and look at the palettes. Now, both boxes are sort of the cardboard box feel. Neither one of them is corrugated, so both companies did, you know, save a little money on the type of box that they presented. Here, the Viburnum Art comes in this beautiful hinged wooden palette with the logo engraved on top. And with the Himi set, same type of box, but different type of palette. Here we have your standard 4-wheel top closing tin. However, it's not black. It is like a off soft pink, almost eggshell type color. So here we have a dramatic difference in the actual palettes. Again, Viburnum Arts looking more streamlined, more professional artists targeted, whereas this could target either student or professional because we've seen both of those grades come in this type of tin. So it's obvious from just the packaging and looking at the actual palettes, Viburnum Arts seems to be putting a little bit more money into the actual presentation of the paints. But that has nothing to do with the quality or whether they're produced in the same place. So let's move forward. Let's pop open these palettes. Now, if I've used these palettes, they have not been cleaned because I do use them on a regular basis. So we'll remove the information presented and take a look and see what we have here. Now, of course, you have your 2-flap tin here that's going to give you mixing area in the top on the additional flap. And if you lift out the tray, you'll have additional mixing wells on the bottom, versus the Viburnum Art only giving you a removable welled tray at the top that fits inside the wooden palette, right? So you're definitely going to get more mixing room with the standard tin that the Himi comes in than you are going to get with the wooden palette presented by Viburnum. So there may be one of the drawbacks, although more money may have been spent in the actual palette itself. This particular palette does not have nearly as much mixing space as, say, this palette does. But again, has nothing to do with the actual quality of the paints or whether they are the same. Both palettes are presenting you with a brush included. Now, the Viburnum Art comes with a number 4 round, sort of a quill emulated synthetic squirrel brush. And the Himi is going to come with a brush as well, but it doesn't have a number on it. If I had to guess, it's somewhere around like a number 2. It is a quill emulating synthetic squirrel brush as well. So you can see the dramatic difference in the brushes that you get. One of them, of course, is labeled Himi. The other one is labeled Viburnum Arts. So there is another difference in the palettes, in the way the paints are presented. It would seem that, again, Viburnum Art put a little bit more money into the actual product that's being presented, because the Viburnum Art brush just seems to be of better quality, not just from appearance, but hold and feel as well. So there is that. Let's continue to move forward. Here we have 24 half pans presented in the same type of clamp tight tray. Let's pull those out. And just from looking at it right away, oh, you can't pull it out of this one. That's right. Just looking at it right away, sitting those side by side, you will see a striking similarity in the pans. So if we really want to investigate, let's start taking a look at the paints, color by color, name by name, pigment by pigment, and we're going to also look at the swatching sheets for each one. And then eventually we are going to swatch them out side by side to see just how close they really are. In this part of the video, what I want to do is take a closer look at the actual paints, their swatching, all of the relevant information with them, kind of do a apple-to-apple comparison to see exactly how similar or different they may be. Let's start off with what was included with each one of them. Now, in the Viburnum Art set, there's a swatch sheet. In the Himi set, there's an overlay and a swatch sheet. Now, I actually did not fill out the swatch sheet for the Himi because if you look right away, I could tell that they were basically the same swatch sheet. They're even on the same weight, style, and type of watercolor paper, in my opinion, based on the feel. I'll let you see that up close. Okay. Now, the Himi set did include an overlay, and the overlay has the name, the pigment numbers, the light fast information, and the transparency information. However, they were not wrapped. The Viburnum Art set, on the other hand, came wrapped. I have cut the wrappers down and put them onto the swatch sheet, and those wrappers did include the pigment numbers, the light fast information, and the transparency information. So I did have all of the relevant information for both sets. Again, I'm seeing that Viburnum Art put a little bit more effort and money into the presentation because these did come wrapped with their logo on it versus the Himi set coming unwrapped just straight out of the tin. Now, let's just kind of take a look at the paints here. If you look closely, you will be able to see that each one of the paints have a very similar pour. It is my belief that both sets are hand poured, and the paint has been allowed to settle, which is why you see some indentation in some colors, even some that I haven't really used. But the pans were pretty much all full universally with about the same amount of paint. So I'm thinking the pouring method for both of them is about the same. So again, another indication that, to me, at this point, that the paints may possibly be coming from the same place. So now let's get down to the real nitty gritty of it and look at the swatching and pay attention to the pigment numbers. So we are going to put swatch sheet by swatch sheet and go color by color. Now, The white I have here first for the Viburnum Arts, so I'll jump over here and get the white for the Himi. Both sets had a titanium white with the same light fast ratings and the pigment number of PW6. But that was no big deal because a lot of sets contain that. So let's move down to the colors. In the exact same order, I have not rearranged anything. I have them swatched in the same order that they are in the palettes. Starting with, first up, lemon yellow. PY3, same pigment, same color name. I'll put this here so you can reference the colors. Next up, cad yellow hue. Cad yellow medium is what they called it. Pigment number, PY213, PY83. Pigment number, PY213, PO70. Oh, sorry, I picked PY213, PY83. Same exact pigment number. Moving down, cad orange. Cad orange. PY213, PO73, PY213, PO73. Exact same order, exact same, maybe a tad bit of variation in the name, just a tad. Next up, they're calling it vermilion. This Himi is calling it Ponceau, Ponceau. Puncheau. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. You guys know how I am with words. PR242 and PY213. PR242, PY213. So I think you kind of get the point here. As you go down the line, not only are the colors in order, the pigment numbers are exactly the same. Here you have Maya red. Here you have Scarlet red. PR254, PR254. Fire crimson, Fire Crimson. PR264, PR264. Rose Madder, Rose. PV19, PR122. PV19, PR122. Mineral Violet, Magnesium. PV16, PV16. Dioxazine Violet. PV23. Next up, dioxazine violet, PV23. So friends, literally straight down the line, they are in order with the exact same pigment numbers and pretty much the exact same name. Sky blue, phthalo blue, Prussian blue, ultramarine. This one is yellow green, this one is spring green, this one is medium green, this one is permanent green. Phthalo green, phthalo green. So basically there's a tad bit of a name change between the original Himi set and the Viburnum Art set. And the reason I say the original Himi set, I'll talk about in just a moment. Tree green, they call it sap green. Earth yellow, they call it yellow ochre because that's what it is. Burnt sienna, over here is burnt ochre, burnt umber, sepia, brown oxide. So Viburnum Art kept artist name, put fancy names to some of the colors, and so did Himi. But they're all in order. Payne's gray, black, lamp black. Same pigment numbers. If it's dual pigment here, it's dual pigment here. If it's single pigment here, it's single pigment here. There is no doubt in my mind, by the time I had gotten to this point, that, you know, all of these are the same colors. They're definitely coming from the same manufacturer. And it is my belief that Viburnum Arts is actually white labeled through Himi. Himi is the original parent company that owns the factory that's producing the paints, and they will actually produce paints for other companies and put that company's logo and branding on it, or they're producing the paints and sending them to Viburnum Art, and then Viburnum Art is doing their own packaging. But either way, it is my wholehearted belief based on my experience and the evidence presented here to me that these paints are definitely made in Himi's, and I'm saying Himi's factory, but we all know that it's Maya Himi. Maya is the actual factory. Himi is just one of the lines. So there you have that. Now, I wanted to kind of go into a side-by-side swatching with you guys, just as a final evidence and final proof that the paints, without a doubt, are the same set. And if you own one set, you do not necessarily need the other. But we will get down to talking about the price difference between the two and why one may be priced where it is versus the other. So I've prepared sort of a swatch sheet here. Now, we're not going to go through all 24. We're probably going to do 12, and I've done 24 swatching stamps so that we can do 12 side by side. Here's the thing. This swatching set, just in case you're interested, this is part of Christy Rice's watercolor stamp swatching set, which you can get on ChristyRice.com. I sound like I'm an ad for her, but I promise you I'm not. I'm going to go ahead and spray these down. Let's remove the brush. Let's actually use one of these brushes. We'll use the Viburnum Art brush. I just like a big brush, and I really like the feel of this brush in all honesty. So we're going to spray down both of the palettes, and we're going to randomly kind of jump around in order, be random, if that makes any sense. Now, if you want to, you can spray down your paper as well. That's completely on you. It is not my plan to make this some type of perfect swatch sheet. I'm going to have a little fun with it here. And I need to give those paints just a second, and then we are going to jump right into swatching. Okay, so let's jump into this 12 colors. Let's do, I don't know, a 12 color mixing set. Let's go with a lemon yellow. Here. Pretty colors, beautiful colors. Let's go with this lemon yellow here. I mean, standard lemon yellow PY3. Let's jump over to the Cad Orange, and I'm gonna try to remember to do Viburnum first and then Himi next. That's the Cad Orange from Viburnum. And then we will do the Cad Orange from Himi. These have kind of dried up already. Beautiful color though. The colors are going to be beautiful. That's the one thing about both sets that I think is pretty cool. Let's go with the Fyro. And I'm gonna go with the rose right beside it. From Viburnum. This is a beautiful color. A lot of depth to it. So I definitely give them props on the formulations. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a little torn because before experiencing both of these sets, I would have told you without thinking about it that if I had to recommend a beginner set or a student grade set, it would definitely be Mealing Pretty Excellent, which is made in the same factory with Paul Rubens. But since experiencing these paints, I would have to say that these definitely give those a run for their money. I mean, they are just super beautiful, super vibrant, and at the same time transparent. There are a lot, and I do mean a lot of single pigment colors. Well, actually in both sets, even in the Pretty Excellent set as well, but just, you know, just talking about it. Let's go with the purple. Why not? And I'm gonna start making these a little bit more watery than I had the first row. But either way, as long as I keep the water consistency about the same, you'll still be able to see that the colors match. I mean, it's actually a little ridiculous. So if I wanted to, I can actually combine these into one major set and then repurpose the tins in the box. And you know, I just may actually do that, friends. I mean, they're actually in the same color order up top and everything. Oh, that's gonna be Himi. Okay. And let's see, would have been this one. I mean, I'm blown away. And I actually had some, because originally when I reviewed these, I actually gave this set really high marks. And I even went so far as to say for a moment that I feel like they could be professional paints. But after painting with them, and I said I felt like they could be professional paints, if nothing more than a bridge paint that step up from student grade, but not quite professional, but being a super great paint at a really economical and affordable price. Well, being a super great paint, this particular set is not economical and affordable, in all honesty, because this particular set is $65. And the Himi set is $25. So I'll let you just kind of mull on that information as we finish up this side-by-side swatching. Always, the entire time I've been working with these sets, thought to myself, why? How is it possible that these are the same paints and one set is so much? But, you know, there are reasons. And once we wrap this up, I'll kind of give you my final thoughts on it all and why I think that Viburnum Art is priced the way it is. So we're gonna, let's see, let's go with the olivey green. And I wouldn't normally put 2 greens in a 12 set, but you know, why not? We're having fun and just kind of swatching. Really just want to see how much these colors match up to each other. At this point, I'm pretty sure you all probably get the point, but I just felt for the sake of, instead of just talking, letting you be able to physically see it, that I should go ahead and swatch at least some of the paints out. That yellow ochre is semi-opaque. It's really nice. I like yellow ochre. Actually more of a raw sienna fan, but you don't find it in a lot of palettes, especially beginner palettes or palettes that target the student grade market, even those that may target the more artist professional market. A lot of them don't seem to have raw sienna. Some, but not a lot. This is burnt sienna. We're wrapping it up in a second here. And they both seem a little weak to me. Definitely another telltale sign. Okay. Let's go with burnt umber. And then we'll grab the burnt umber from the other side. At this point, I really might as well not even rinse in between. I'm just doing that for the sake of Oh, that's a lot. Saying that the swatching is fair. Pick some of that, lift some of that out. Thin it out so you can see it is the same. If nothing else, the swatch sheet will make for a really cute insert inside a journal. What's next? I'm not sure what this is, but let's go for it. What is this? Okay, wait, let's back up for a second. One of those colors was, oh, that was sepia. No, this is sepia. Sepia is what Himi calls it anyway. All right, let's do the Himi. See, third one from the last. It's gonna be nice when it's all said and done though. And then we'll do the Payne's Gray. Beautiful color. Payne's Gray is one of my favorite colors. I just love the intensity of it. And we'll do Payne's Gray on the opposite side here. Then we'll do black, which is called lamp black in Viburnum. So I really think Viburnum is the one that really tried to go with the more artist recognizable colors, whereas Himi has names that you might not expect them to be called, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're foo-foo names, because have to keep in mind Himi is in a different market. And on this side, and I seem to have smudged something somehow. I don't plan on putting white there though. So let's go with, oh, I don't know. Let's go with another green. Let's go with phthalo green. It's, you know, first thing that kind of jumps out on me, and I love it. It's a beautiful mixing green. So let's just do it. And that's red, so it may actually turn gray there, depending on where I put a lot more phthalo green there. I can just beef that up because it's the same color. Okay. And there, friends, is the swatching sheet, just so you can get a better visual of what those paints look like side by side. There's no doubt in my mind that this is the exact same set of paints. I'm going to sit this to the side and give it time to dry, and more than likely I'm going to tear it off of here and paint the backside and use it in an upcoming journal video that I'm going to be doing. Stay tuned for that, friends. So here we go. Let's just kind of get down to the nitty gritty and talk about why I think one is priced the way it is versus the other. So although you're getting the exact same paint, you know, what you're getting in value with presentation and packaging with Viburnum Art, Himi is foregoing that. Now, Himi, I believe, again, is the factory, or Maya's factory is producing it. So it would be my belief that they're able to sell it at a much more affordable rate than a budget company like Viburnum Arts that is actually getting the product from Himi and rebranding it, meaning that the overhead for Viburnum Art is much higher to produce one of these palettes than it would be for Himi. Just talking about the paints on themselves. Then you look at the package, whereas Himi packages in the standard tin that we're used to seeing on a regular basis. The only difference is that, you know, it has a bit of a color difference. you know. But other than that, it's the standard 10. And these are easier to come by, or should I say more affordable to come by on a wholesale rate than it would be to produce a palette that is in a wooden box that is hinged with a latch that closed with a engraved logo. So the amount of money that went into the manufacturing of just that palette alone puts it at a higher price point than what Himi would be coming in this tin. Then of course we're looking at the box. Although the boxes are exactly the same material, the actual design that went into the box would be a little bit more pricey on the Viburnum Arts side and more cost effective on the Himi side. And I'm speaking based on, you know, experience here as far as someone who is trying to produce their own actual products, and just what I have learned from researching different factories, especially those that white label products for smaller budget companies. With that said, and all considered, I understand why there is a price point or such a huge difference in price point, even down to the difference in the quality of the brush that's presented between Himi and Viburnum Art. Now, are you getting the exact same paint? Yes. Is this a more cost effective, more pocket friendly, money saving set? Yes, it is. Is this going to be a more gifted, you want to get the watercolor artist in your life something nice? You want to get them something that can add as a part of a collectible, especially if they're a person who collects like watercolor paints, then, you know, this may be the route to go. Christmas is coming up. So if you wanted to get somebody something that was really nice, a little impressive, and contained some really super great quality paints, then this is the way I would go. But if a beginner or someone who was just looking for a nice set of paints, a professional that was looking for a backup set, asked me for my opinion between the two or on a suggestion, it would be the Himi set, simply because it's the exact same quality paints and it's going to be at a much more cost effective price. So it would always be my recommendation in saving money, especially in this penny pinching time that we need to be in, to go in the direction of Himi, because it's definitely more cost effective. However, if you're going to get a gift for someone, if you're going to be presenting someone with something nice, then it would be this set, because in my opinion, although it's the same paints, this is more of a novelty purchase, where this is more of a practical purchase. So hopefully that makes sense. So friends, there you have it. I'll let you take a look at the swatch sheet once more. Ultimate conclusion is that the Viburnum Arts professional quality set is the exact same paints as the Himi professional quality set. The price difference is strictly due to presentation. Absolutely. Hopefully you guys found this information helpful in some shape, form, or fashion. If you did, if you enjoyed hanging out, don't forget to sprinkle a little love by giving the video a thumbs up. If you choose to share, by all means, it'll get it in front of other viewers like yourself. So please do. Sharing is caring, and I would greatly appreciate any of the love. Jump in the comment section. Let me know how you feel. Have you used either set? If you were going to buy either set, what purpose would it be for you? If you have used them, what do you think? You know, I'm just throwing out some questions to get a good conversation going in the comment section. So please feel free to let me know how you feel. I will respond to all comments as soon as I possibly can. You can check the video description for all relevant links. Definitely hit that link for the Defyantarts website. Go check it out. See what's going on over there. I'm trying to keep it more up to date on a regular basis, so I would love for you guys to check it out. And remember, as I tell you at the end of every single video, just keep creating.